Hello, Gene Schwimmer here, and welcome to me. Today, just a couple of items. The first one, I guess we could call this Great Minds Think Alike, at least to me, because Victor Davis Hanson is one of my favorite writers. He writes for the National Review. He also belongs to the Hoover Institution. He's just a well-known commentator. I think he's very bright. He teaches classical history at, I don't remember the university. It's in California. I am honestly too lazy to go look it up now that I got the camera running. Anyways, he's an important guy if you're a conservative. And he agrees with me. That's what I mean by the great minds think alike. This is something I was talking about only last week, that Donald Trump, he's his own worst enemy sometimes. He's not, well, Hanson is a lot more charitable than I am. I don't think Donald Trump is a good speaker off the cuff. He's not a very good extemporaneous speaker. He needs everything scripted. If he's going to go out and say something, he should not get off subject and start talking about this, that, or the other thing, some shouted question from a reporter, because he doesn't do that very well. But also, this is what Hanson points out, and this is the main thing. In Hanson's view, with which I agree, it's not so much how articulate Donald Trump is as it is that no matter what he says, the media, they hate him, and they're going to do anything they can to misconstrue his remarks, or I should say misreport his remarks. So anything he says, even if it's a very honest and straightforward statement, if there's any way to take his words out of context and create a negative meaning from them, I'm not going to go into detail on the Charlottesville press conference that he had at Trump Tower, but if you read the transcript, you will see that when he said there are good people on both sides, he was clearly referring to those people that were out there due to an honest disagreement over what the subject was supposed to be, which was the Charlottesville City Council had voted to remove a Robert E. Lee statue. And there are people on both sides of that argument, and they're good, honest people. So he was absolutely right about that, but they misreported that, misinterpreted that to make it sound like he was saying that among the Nazis, the neo-Nazis, the white supremacists, that there were good people among them. And he was not saying that at all. And you had people resigning from committees, resigning from Republican organizations over this. It's just plain false. But he got into trouble, even though he was completely honest and he was completely straightforward because of what the press did. And as Hanson points out, there is really no need to do that. I'm going to put up a couple of quotes, and here's the first one. I'll just read what Hanson says. The economy, jobs reports, Wall Street, consumer confidence, family income, GDP growth, corporate profits, gas prices, energy production, exports is creating a new confidence among Americans. Abroad, the team of Haley, Mattis, McMaster, Pompeo, and Tillerson is slowly reestablishing deterrence in a fashion of quote-unquote principled realism. The cabinet secretaries are steadily and quietly repealing the Obama progressive experiment. In the next quote, he goes on, I'm skipping a couple of sentences, the important part where Hanson and I completely agree. In other words, the news speaks for itself without Trump's editorializing, tweeting, or impromptu commentary. This was my point. In fact, that very conference, he started out by announcing how his administration had done something to streamline the process of approving infrastructure projects from as much as 17 years down to 2 years, 2.5 years. That is excellent. If he would have stopped there, this good news, that and what Hanson just listed, just all of those things by themselves, and we can all feel the economy doing better, that alone would be enough, and he would be a lot more popular than he is, and I think he'll be reelected anyways if the economy keeps going like this, because that is one of the main factors that determines whether a president is reelected reelected or not. It's how well the economy is doing when he runs. If the economy had been firing on all cylinders in the last year of the Bush administration, George W. Bush, I don't know if Obama would have won. That's how important the economy is. I could be wrong, but this good news, if this keeps coming, then Donald Trump will be reelected. You also have Korea, if he handles that well. That's another feather in his cap. What I'm saying is you can judge Trump by his actions, not his words. If he would just shut up, I'll be honest, if he would just stop making these extemporaneous, off-the-cuff statements. He needs to have a thicker skin. Why should he? I remember Ronald Reagan. He would be walking to Marine One, to the helicopter. Reporters would shout questions, and Reagan would he would smile, and he would go like that. He would just pretend that he couldn't hear the reporter. It got him out of having to answer an uncomfortable question, and the public loved it. That is something, well, actually, that's what Donald Trump should do, I think, is he should, because that was another president. Now they talk about how great he is, some Democrats, but boy, they did not like Reagan at the time. In fact, he got a reputation as the Teflon president. They used to call him that because they would launch all these attacks on him, and they would just roll off of Ronald Reagan like he was made of Teflon. In fact, I remember reading just yesterday, I don't have the article offhand, but a reporter saying that he was in a restaurant or a bar somewhere listening to just the customers talking about the Charlottesville statements, and they just said, oh my God, what are they? Now they're talking about statues. The public doesn't care. Donald Trump, who is his worst enemy, sometimes could be his best friend if he would just be quiet, not speak off the cuff, and just let his deeds speak for himself. Just keep appointing those conservative judges, keep reducing the debt, and that's it. Just keep doing good stuff. You don't have to talk about it. The deeds speak for themselves. And with that, I'm going to end. I said I had 2 items, but I think I'm going to end right now because this is enough, right? And I'm going to leave you wanting more. Well, no, one more thing, which is if you could share this video. If you like this video, share it with your friends, share it with your enemies. Why not? Share the videos wherever you can and click that like button, the little thumbs up thing, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.
You got plan, darling?
I always got plan. They don't ever work, but I always got one.